this is a different, obviously, sit-down podcast for me, but something that I don't even know if people know, but something that, and whatever that something is, we'll unpack. But
ominous something.
Yeah, that world, or the embodiment of the plasma of reality, is something I've always been curious about and always been open to, and certainly have a bunch of stories throughout my life in that. And so I saw you on Instagram, and I love that, the way you start that, because that's the first medicine, is to realize that it's not some obviously people have talents and abilities, but and the access of self is, I'll go on a limb, probably the greatest disconnect
Huge.
on the planet.
Yeah.
And leading and creating from that either connection or disconnection in this space is the genesis of everything.
Yeah, big agree. I know when you approached me about this, the way that you summarized your understanding of what I'm trying to do felt really good, because sometimes I feel like I'm speaking into the void. I'm
Right.
like, you guys, it's because like the job title psychic medium, I've adopted it because I do that as a job, but it is a bit gimmicky, the title.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of
sure.
taboo stuff. It's got a lot of whatever.
It's like saying religion, or
yeah. And I've had a lot of resistance with that, because I was like, it's just, yeah, I can do these things, but that's not the meat of what's going on here. So when you were approaching it as the understanding that I'm just trying to get people to like turn on the light switch, that we are way more capable of connecting than we think that we are.
Right.
And that's been proven, because I also make people very angry when I say that, because that then requires accountability on their part.
Right. Of their life and their choices.
Of their life.
Or lack there.
And that can be really hurtful for people.
Right.
But yes, that is, I feel like, imagine the world, big dream picture. If everyone is operating from a centered, connected space more than they are now, imagine the choices people are making and the difference that would be, rather than the shitstorm that we're in right now.
Right. Yeah, and it's plagued humans for a long time. And yeah, because as you start, you have this little, I don't have it down, but
you don't have it memorized.
You say it like 1,000 times, but that catchphrase is what?
Yeah, I introduced myself. I'm a psychic medium, and so are you if you want to be.
Right, and therein lies the choice. And really, again, breaking that down, and that is, the thing that most people don't do is become quiet and still. They just want another thing to do.
Yeah, another thing to do. Also, I think there's a layer to understand here about kind of the way that this works is, there's a few versions of people approaching intuition. So let's just apply intuition as the umbrella for all of the things,
right?
Whatever, unseen. And there is the like people who are jonesing for a quick fix around like, I need to talk to my dead loved one, and it's like really intense. There's that version of things. And then there's the version of like, I am living a life that I hate, not me personally, somebody. And what do? I don't know how to fix this. And it's like, if you can tune in, you're going to be able to hear the quiet things in your mind and in your heart that are like, hey, like, why don't you go check that thing out? Go do this thing, follow this path, and you'll see that life will change quite quickly if you do that. But people don't know that they can.
Right.
They've been totally disconnected from the trust with self. So anything that I'm teaching I'm not teaching something new. It's not like I've just discovered something. People have been doing this for a long time. We've just been all totally removed from that. Social media has a big part in even bigger disconnection. Everyone is outsourcing. They want to before I trust what I think, I'm going to ask you, well, what do you think about this? And then this person. And you just see that people are drowning in their own outsourcing information.
Right. And then I would imagine it leads to more mistrust of yourself.
Yes.
Because you're just constantly looking out there, listening out there. And then where am I in that mire, right? Where am I in that constant, this world is so nuts in the sense that it's such an input heavy system.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like, good luck, people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's almost like, I would imagine putting this on it, but you're you're giving the permission to wake back up to what I would also say is a intelligence with nothing in between it.
Yeah.
No religion, no guru, no whatever.
Just the isness. We're just
Right.
in this.
Right.
The soup. And there's more available than we are originally brought up to believe.
Right. So let's go back to the origin story because I'm dying to know.
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's number one, I give you kudos because it's bold to own. I mean, I think anyone owning part of ourselves that feels different and strange or words that are put on it, but you're owning it.
Yeah.
And you're actually helping people and teaching people. And again, your mantra of how you're eliminating the I am not special. You are.
Yeah.
If you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How do we get here?
How the hell did you get here?
Okay. Well, I guess I don't know what you know about me or honestly anyone listening, but it's going to get a little bit dark. We're going to go there. And I would I'll add a little thing when we get there. So basically the boring part of it is the classic story of most people have some ability, some experience as a child. You get denied as you grow up and so you disconnect. Okay, fine. So that's classic stuff for me. Then my dad decided to kill himself. Whoops. This is where the caveat comes in. I had a conversation with a client yesterday that this has become very important to me now to speak on. He understood that I have taken my dad's suicide and turned something good out of it in my life. And he asked me, is my death to the benefit of my kids? And I think it's important before I go any further to talk about how this all developed is that my dad's death was a catalyst, but it was me that changed it to good. Not everybody's going to take a death like that and make it a good thing. So just for anybody listening, I am never going to say off yourself for the sake of the people around you to have an experience. But people like to take it that way.
Right.
And I'm not.
Yeah. And I'm glad because you have to be clear about this stuff because it's so, my dad died from alcohol and he traveled with me for a long time and I don't have to get into what happened recently.
We can go full dead dad stuff if you
want.
Yeah.
But his message, that transition anchored something inside of me that just was completely not even close to being anchored in terms of my commitment, in terms of why I'm here, in terms of what I'm committed to doing in the world or being in the world. And I'm still a work in progress. But it's funny, and I'll just say this because, again, I purposely didn't want to know because we're kind of coming into the psychic zone in a sense. It's funny because I was getting my dad, but then I was like, I think her dad's around. He's
been showing up. He's harder for me to connect to in a way that I trust because the way that I connect is if I'm reading somebody, I'm getting their memories and feelings that I know are not mine. I'm I don't care in my own system about someone else's uncle. But I want my dad to pull up, But it's harder to connect in. But it's important from his death. I think people misconstrue sometimes. They're like, oh, she started doing this because she just wanted to talk to her dad. That's nice. Sure, it is that. But actually what I saw is I was someone doesn't kill themselves if they're connected to themselves or to the community or to the greater whole. And my dad's thing kind of leading up to his death and his whole life was feeling, for him, it was disconnection from God because he was devoutly Christian, a disconnection from self. I watched him abandon himself his whole entire life. I don't think the life that he was living was even remotely close to what he actually... God,
you're freaking me out here.
Could be.
Because my dad's got a script exactly like that.
Yeah, but you don't drink yourself to death because you're stoked.
Right.
I don't think. I consider dying from alcoholism to be yours. If I read those energies, they're real close to suicide.
Right.
My dad just chose a quicker path.
Well, so now it's not to hijack, but
do it.
But at 7 years old, I turned to my dad. Literally, I couldn't even see over the dashboard of the car, and I said, "What do you want your life to be?" Right? And then he told me, "I want to do this. I want to be in the ocean. I want to he expressed something that I'd never heard from this angry guy, right? And it seeded in me.
Yeah.
Boom. And that changed my life. Wasn't even conscious of it
Right.
at the moment. But my dad then had these moments of blossoming, and then he'd crush himself and do all the and had all. Bottom line is, he had all these dreams that he told me,
And then they just,
and then he didn't express them.
yeah.
And 100%, that's what quote unquote killed him.
Yeah.
Right. So I just wanted to say that because again, this is a strange, it's an interesting situation, because my dad's screaming at me today, and just the fact that in 5 minutes of a conversation, there's some sort of resonance with your dad.
I had a feeling, because I was driving here and I was like, I wonder how much Darin knows about any of this. And I was like, where are we going to enter in on this topic? Because not everyone knows that it's like, a suicidal dad situation, and that can be jarring. But yeah, there must have been something. I had a feeling that there was something there. So you get it. Yeah, that turns on the lights that I have to. Our arguments, our discussions with my father and I were always around. I was like, dude, don't you see? Like, can't you try these things? Like, look at this a different way. And it was always this,
While he was living.
While he was living.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit now.
He's like, I'm good.
He's doing whatever he wants. He's obsessed with tits. He gets to go look at them now.
Yeah.
Sorry, inappropriate. It's just that my family will know. While he was alive, we have very similar, the things we struggle with, I feel they were very similar. I handled my stuff differently than he chose to. And I wanted to just like shake him and be like, just like, try anything else that like makes you feel more aligned. You're an artist, you like to dance, you like to sing, and instead you're an aircraft mechanic, and you're just like, I go to church and this is what I do and I'm miserable. I'm like,
right.
Ew. Right. So I saw that, and leading up to his death the week before, it wasn't indicators like he was giving me indicators about anything. It was indicators. I kept like getting weird hits. This is before I was like really trusting my own ability of like what I was receiving. And I was like, I don't know, it feels like maybe my mom's dad's gonna pass. I was like, there's like a gunshot involved. I didn't really get what was happening. I get the phone call and I was like, oh shit. Like my dad just like shot himself and he's dead.
Wow.
And that like, for the first few months rocked my stuff to a degree that was very traumatic. It's bad. But yeah, that is the slingshot into kind of cultivating this almost like a body of work that I'm now trying to shove down people's throats nicely. I have the same like feeling towards them. Like, can't you just see? Just like try anything other than just like being on the hamster wheel that you've put yourself on, and that like ties into intuition and the whole bit.
Well, and you too, and me too, and I think anyone listening can kind of find a friend or a parent who you see something in them, and then they choose not to do it, and how crushing that is, and they're surviving it, but it's not good.
Yep.
And then you add on top of it this world and the distractions that are littered within it.
Yep.
And it just keeps pulling you. Listen, I'm not infallible to it either. Like
we all slip into it.
It's like, Jesus Christ, what's happening?
Monday is my doom scroll with the TV on day, and I have to sign off on that and be like, this is what I do on Mondays. I fall into my void on Mondays. Not saying it's good, but that's where the system kind of has its hook in me for a minute.
Yeah. Well, it's also, you can do it consciously.
Yeah.
Which is different than just they're not conscious.
Yeah.
And it can easily lull us all to sleep for sure. And there's part of whatever weird part of the matrix that is. Who knows? But so obviously that's a catalyst.
Yep.
And what you do with that has two choices.
Yeah.
Can spiral you down to hell.
Yeah.
And so how did that shift?
How did it shift? Basically at the beginning of it, spirit, higher self, God, whatever you want to call it. I was like, okay, clearly you are ringing the bell very loud over here, but I need to be shown that this is absolutely the thing that needs to be happening. Because, growing up and having like intuitive hits and understanding things or seeing things or predictive stuff, and you go tell the world or your parents and they're like, no, and then it's never validated. It's no one's fault. It's just people don't validate that stuff.
Right.
I also kind of thought that everyone had something like that going on, which they do, but maybe at the level I was having
Been neutered a little bit.
It's been neutered.
Yeah.
So I asked for that to be delivered into my space, and then I had
Consciously chose that. You go,
I was
let's
like,
open this.
let it rip. If
Nice.
you want me to do this, whatever the you is, the cosmos, I was like, you have to make this so clear that like I can't play anymore, because this is stepping off onto a ledge where it's a really big thing to proclaim that I'm doing. If I'm not doing it, so I need to know that I'm doing it. Yeah. And listen, like the imposter syndrome still comes through. I'll have an amazing session with like tons of evidence, and I'm still like, do I know what I'm doing? And sometimes no, you don't. It's all part of what it is. But so then I had some things that occurred right after that around. I was, my time in LA, I've like modeled for 16 years. So I was going to set, and there's a new makeup artist there, and we had this exchange where, and I'll keep it private, but basically on my way there, I was getting like names and images of stuff, and I was sitting in the room, and I start talking to her, and I'm asking her about this like character that I'm seeing, and some imagery and a name, and essentially she was wearing pajamas that had the image on them that morning. Her husband had died, and he like used to sing this song, and I was like, and his name was the name that I was like pulling on my way there. I didn't know that I was going to see
like,
her.
Ding, ding, ding.
It was a lot in a row. It's not always like that, but I was like, okay, heard and received.
Right.
And then I had
like that's the small brain going, I need it to be clear so that I don't blow it off again.
Yeah, and then it happened again. Weirdly, it all happens within like the modeling world, which I think there's something funny about that because that's so not this world. Right. But I went and met with my new agent, and they were testing me. They're like, okay, do something. And I was like, at like a big board table in New York, and I'm on the spot. And I'm like, okay. And this is before I've held sessions before, so I was like scared, and there's people just like looking at me. And I was describing his father and like said his father's name, and I was like, yeah, he's like standing right next to you. But I'm sitting like sweating. Right. And then he's crying because I was right. So it was like those kinds of things, which then to anyone listening, asking for experiences that like you cannot deny are a part of this. You have to, because it's when you don't, it's not like I see ghosts walking around the room. I don't see like your father sitting in the corner taking notes. Dad. Yeah. So that's kind of how it happened. And then from there, it's just been, kind of evolving what my priority is in it. The mediumship and like the psychic nature of things, I think, is a really good way to help turn on a light switch for other people. Right. People are interested in that. They want access to that. And so
you mean like when you come in and you tell someone like that, the guy at the board, and all of a sudden you're like, how she couldn't possibly know that. Yeah. So then there's that inflection point for them to go like, okay, you're going to just pretend that this thing that you don't understand, this mystery, is just a mystery and you have no access to it? Or are you going to use that opportunity to go, there might be something more? And then if the person who's doing it is telling you like, why don't you give it a shot? It doesn't mean you need to go be a medium. Like you don't need to start hosting a podcast doing mediumship readings. You could. Oh, damn it. You might as well try if you want. Yeah. But it turns on the awareness of like, okay, like maybe there's something here. And then the trickle down effect is, how am I making choices in my life? Am I listening to the thing where I'm being pulled? Is fear talking, or is it my intuition talking? And it's all, because it's all the same stuff. So there's so much. I love this. So like the listening to the voice, because I slip too. And there's time, like, I'll just say this one story. So when I got to LA, I'm from Minnesota, lived in Colorado, came to LA. And I was kind of pushing my other world. I don't want to do any of that other stuff and physiology and nutrition. But I'm here, I'm new, I want to do all this stuff. And then I was losing money, and I needed to. So I got to a point where I just moved my entire life out here, and I woke up early, and I usually journal and stuff, and I was so pissed, going, I may have to fucking leave. Yeah. And so I screamed out loud to God. And I was like, you got to make this so fucking clear, because what the fuck am I doing here? Yeah. And I slammed the door, like literally had a argument, right? Yeah. I slammed the door and went for a run. It was like I was living in freaking Studio City. And I went for a run. Like, hey, I said what I had to say. You figure it out. And I got like hour into the run, I just got stopped like a wall and just got downloaded.
Yeah.
And I spent 2 years writing from that space. Like something opened up. But so I really understand what you're saying when you demand it enough and go, I am a feeble little small-brained human.
Yeah.
In the sense, like, we can't know this all. But you got to give me something.
Yeah.
Right? So I just wanted to say that because it's not a flippant thing. It's not. It's like anything in life. If you wanna commit to your life, you got to commit to your life.
This practice isn't just because I'm like, oh yeah, like I feel like doing the amount of like I've had with making this my like job and trying to make this be the thing for my life. It's both come with ease in some areas, and other areas it is a lot of like reflection with self. I have to sit down and have some talks with myself a lot. You got to get real, and it is a practice. It's like if you've never done a push-up before and now you got to learn how to do 100 perfect ones. You got to like be dedicated to it. Interesting thing that you said about the run, which I wanted to touch on, moving your body, which I know some people get their panties in a knot because they're like, that's not. Moving your body to the degree that you can move your body will help you receive downloads. It opens up energy. Your body, if we're all sitting like this all the time, nothing's going to flow.
Right.
If you want answers to something you don't feel necessarily tapped in, I go do a super hardcore sculpt class. For me, I push myself to my edge. And then when I'm laying down, all of a sudden, all the questions I had before, I'm like, oh, duh. Right. Creatively, I'm like, oh, duh.
Right.
Like the stupid little tag going on my Instagram videos came because I was talking to Spirit and I was like, dude, social media pisses me off. I don't know how to do this in a way that like makes sense. And I laid down in class and I was like, oh, do this.
Right.
And it's working.
Right. Because that's what you're doing. And again, it's not, I'm here, you're over there.
Yeah.
You're creating an invitation.
And that's clearing the space to receive it.
Right.
And usually physical movement will help kind of get the brain out of its own way a little bit.
And honestly, like after a workout, I would, for years, would do intense breathing stuff after. I mean, oh my God. Like an IV of DMT almost, right? It's like just like ancestors and just like, holy shit. So it is true. Like you move your body and then, I don't know, I that breathing stuff just.
Oh, breathwork's like so along with just like the intuitive stuff that I do, I went and got myself some credentials because people like a cosign if you're going to be dealing with them. So like I am educated in like somatic therapies and all that stuff, just because usually I'm encountering people who they're stuck. There's some stuff. They're holding out a lot of grief, whatever that is. Breathwork, key thing to explore if you're feeling stuck in some stuff, especially when the analytical mind is getting in the way. Breathwork. And then moving your body. The way I'll like run someone through a session and I was like, okay, like we're gonna dance, but like we're gonna dance until you're sweating. And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, you're moving. And it's not just so like I can have a good time watching you. It's because you're moving the energy around and then you're gonna drop into breath. And then your brain can kind of just like shh for a second. That part of the mind that's it's like chattering at you all day long about whatever.
It's tyrannical.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes. Mine's just because I do this job doesn't mean that it's not over here yapping.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah. And is there a feeling that you get? I mean, the chasm opens up the more you acknowledge, right? So your ability, your muscle gets stronger. And like I've been humbled the last month. I'm definitely in an inflection period of I asked for it. It's a whole nother conversation. And I was like, fuck, I didn't think it was going to show up like this.
Yeah.
But, right? And it's weird because I feel like I'm in a different space and I'm seeing the different kind of voices inside of myself. But it's a weird, I don't know. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I'm pretty good at following my deep knowing, kind of unconventionally. I've lived a life, I felt something and I went for it. I'm in a weird space where I don't know where it's different. It's different. There's a different sense of information coming, and my ego is flipping out like crazy. I'm like, what is going on? So I realize it. I'm surrendering to it. I don't know when it's going to shift. Blah blah blah. Do you find that? Do you find like certain, when you say I'm going to do this, and then it demands something of you? Maybe the body, maybe nutrition, maybe some things that are allowing you to open up more to receive.
Yes. And actually, it's interesting that you're saying that because I've not yet had this conversation. I've got like a few, colleagues, peers, whatever, people that do what I do, that we talk. And I've been having this experience as well where, and as you're saying this, I feel like what it is we're getting a download of like a new vocabulary. It's like a new language on top of that's what this feels like. And maybe you're having the same thing where I'm like, I do tap into this. This looks familiar, but maybe instead of Spanish, you're now teaching me Latin. And it's kind of what it's feeling like. Cause I'm getting stuff coming through. I'm like, what do I do with that?
Right.
And I do feel like that might be part of do you want to call it a level up of my own personal practice, or I'm asking to go further with it. I'm asking for stuff. And so they're like, okay, well then you have to learn how to translate this stuff. I'm like, but I don't know. I'm just a girl.
Right.
I do feel like there are calls to, it can change in and out, but like, if you drink a lot and you want to do this work, I'm not saying you can't do this work if you're drinking, but there will probably be a time where information will come through more clearly to you and you'll be cued to release that.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a sober person, but there's things have gone in their waves in life and experiences, but the more I want to dive in, the clearer my channel has to be.
Right.
So, it's that kind of thing, physical movement, your health. For me, my biggest thing right now, consistently all the time, is boundaries that are always evolving and changing. And I'm getting really weird things coming in. As my work is like entering the consciousness of more people, I'm also feeling really strange things from the living, not the dead. And so I'm asking for my work to be to reach more people, and those more people are showing up, and I'm like, oh, I have to like readjust how I deal and who and what and all. It's very interesting what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's a new playbook. It's a new way, and I want to go back to the language thing, because I've always felt this to be true, is that you can assist, like you specifically can assist people in opening up and trusting themselves, and at the same time what I find is like it's literal language coming directly to me from source. No one else can really decipher it directly as I can. So it's literally learning a language.
Yeah.
Right? Do you find that?
Yeah, I would like to ask you, for when you receive this like language from source, what is your experience when that comes through for you? If you're going to deliver me a message, source dropped you a message for me today, how are you translating that to me?
I'm going off of things in the past.
Okay, like references? Referencing?
Yeah. So it has to be a safe space.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a space where there's some receptivity, right? I'm not blasting people with shit that they're not going to...
I have a message for you.
Right. I'll just tell a little story. Earlier in my life when I was I graduated, did physiology, worked on a lot of people physically.
I bet you received a lot of stuff while you were doing that.
And then there was a certain point in Colorado, in order to physically touch somebody, I had to get, a rehab license and a massage license. I just powered through because I already had the understanding. So then I was touching people, accidents and all of, and one was a friend. And I was sitting there one day, and I was consciously starting to feel a lot deeper. And I just turned to her, and she was on a table, and I was dealing with some injuries. And I go, do you mind if I share something that I'm getting? And she was like, yeah, sure. And I go, there's a red plane and your dad. And it was super clear, like crystal clear, like a TV. And he wants to, whatever message I gave to her. And she instantly started crying. My dad died in a plane crash and the plane was red and blah, 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 blah. So from that standpoint, I started kind of opening myself up to, and I would get tons of stuff.
You got a big validation, so you know what that felt like.
Right. Yeah. So then there would be like, another friend in an apartment, or old friend of hers died, suicide, and blah, and then that came through, and then turned on the radio, and I started telling her, turned on the radio, she was sitting next to me, and it was that person's favorite song, and she instantly, but since then, I've shut that off to people, because it's like, I actually had a massive download I did a retreat, and I had a huge download.
This recent one?
Recent, yeah. A few weeks ago. And it was about this person that owned the land, and I saw the land, and I saw what needed to be done, and I saw the person, and then in the middle of getting information, I was like, oh, that's none of your business.
Yeah.
So I literally stopped myself going into a field because that person wasn't here. They weren't in my space to ask, and I said, it's none of my business. I said it out loud. Right, just to stop it.
You kind of have to command your energy that way.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much for me to just all of a sudden pop into a thing. So I don't know how to answer the question in terms of I feel so weird now. I've got some 30-year-old, the back injury, which kind of stopped me, and now it's creeping up, and I know it's part of this whole fucking upgrade. And I'm surrendering, and I'm like going, I don't understand this language. Like,
yeah.
And so I feel a little like I'm literally out of my mouth out loud to myself going, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know what that means, but I believe, again, how we started this thing, I believe that whatever this is between people and us is so underutilized that if anyone just takes from this, just be quiet more, right?
And trust, a little trust in
Right.
in the thing. Not
Right.
the voices that are telling you to do bad things. Some people have
Right.
those voices too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest practice is a little bit of stillness. I don't want people to get scared because like, I can't meditate. It's fine.
Right.
But just like drop in for a second. When you're in the shower and you get like a little, oh, that was interesting. But just allow that to exist in your mind before pushing it away. I have an exercise that my like consistent clients have where I'm like mentoring them. And you're dropping into what a yes feels like in your body or a no. And, that's going to be different for everybody. But then you're utilizing that yes and no to make choices from a low to no stakes situation all the way up to big decisions. And people gain so much information about how they operate and the ways that they've betrayed their trust with themselves just by operating from the, do I want to do this or not? Does this feel like a yes in my body or not? And then following it. Most people will find that they've been ignoring the cues their whole life. Right.
And usually the light, the yes is a light. It's light. It's lighter, and that no is, from my experience, heavy. And if you're willing to kind of just hang for a second, just to feel that.
And you can ask like, okay, expand upon that. You can be like, okay, I'm feeling that this doesn't feel so good. Why is that coming up? And just see what comes to mind. Yeah. It's worth noting that sometimes this stuff feels like you're pulling it out of your ass. Which, right. I mean, it does. It feels like that. And then, like, as you move along, you'll get confirmation, so you'll start to see that it's not.
Right, and the ego wants to come and destroy all of it. Right? Because it's not in its control.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm just, it's like, so if someone comes to you, like, enough to be open to it, but really disconnected, like, what is your starting point to kind of work with someone to like, how do I even begin? And my life is chaotic, because most people's are.
Mm-hmm.
And now you want me to do nothing or stop or silent, like, you know what I mean? So what's the path?
So we're going to say that this is like, there's like two kinds of clients that I work with right now that seem to be showing up. There's people that are like at base level, like the fuck is going on?
Right.
Like that's where they're at. And then there's people who've been like kind of doing this for a while, and I'm basically just kind of coaching them through like running a session. Mm-hmm. So if we're dealing with person one, which I have a lot of those, we're going to start, the sessions look more like therapy sessions, to be honest. It's, I will kind of drop in with them, and we're going to start unpacking the, like, when were you not believed? Where do you hold a lot of anger? Like, we're just going to start unpacking life things and kind of looking at the places, like, where do you sit in the most denial in your life? That, we need to start looking at that, because if you want to open up to the intuition part, you have to understand how you're driving your own ship. And most people aren't driving it.
Right.
Sailing it, moving it, whatever. So that those first few weeks are going to usually be a lot less fun, but it's going to be a lot more of like internal exploration and like kind of looking at, why am I here? And so, yeah, it'll start with just kind of getting an overlay understanding of their life and sorting them out with, what do you want your life to feel like?
Right.
What does it feel like right now? What are you doing in your life that's actually creating what you don't want versus the list of the things that you do want? Just bringing basic awareness to behaviors is going to be like the first step before we can move on to anything else. And I know there's like intuitives that are going to be like, I've been able to be a medium my whole life and I don't have to do any emotional work. Fine. Good. I'm glad that there are people doing that. But if you're trying to like live intuitively, you want to unpack that stuff.
Yeah, because most people are probably coming, I just want to live, I want to be happy. I want to have a great life. I don't need to be a psychic for people. I just want to get in touch with something that I feel there is. I may not have a clue how to access it right now.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's a feather touch, and I just need a little help. And would you say that the kind of looking honestly at the life is also the thing that we avoid so much, and that is that, I mean, for lack of a better word, the shadow side of it, the dark side, the unhealed parts, the things that we're just dragging around because we don't want. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that has to be kind of a major
big thing to all of this stuff. Yeah. And I think maybe like the popularity that beat it to the ground of like shadow work is maybe an annoying statement or like thing to use now, but it's true. Like the pieces of yourself that you go like, I'm not looking at that. I'm not going to go there. It's actually usually not as bad as you think it is. I can confirm. I hear people's stuff all day long. I look into it. Your stuff's not that bad. Right. It might be painful for you. I'm not just invalidating the pains that you have, but like people are very hard on themselves and the things that they've done and the mistakes that they've made. And I'm just like, I've seen a lot. And there are a few people where I'm going, oh shit, we should probably do something legal about that. But for the most part, that, people are sticking their head in the sand because it feels too painful to acknowledge that maybe both things can be true. That someone could have been a bad father for certain reasons and also has pieces of him that are kind. Some people have a hard time reconciling that that's real. Yeah. And that's within themselves as well. So those shadowy pieces, I think, once you just start looking at them, they're really not as taking your power back by going like, oh, I see that I did that there. I don't need to be that hard on myself. I just don't need to do that again. Or
it can be that simple.
Yeah, I was a shitty human being. Went up and probably, people could probably say even until now, it depends on who you are, I guess. But like I came from a lot of chaos and, there's some very traumatic things of childhood and into my young adulthood that made me be a human being that was operating unconsciously in ways that was like unkind. I was very angry. There are people that have probably encountered me that are going, what is she doing this as a job? She sucks. But like, I looked at those things and then you evolve past, you either make friends with them and say like, okay, that's interesting that you showed up that way and, or you toss them out, but you have to look at the things.
Do you think that's probably one of the biggest access points to you now?
access points to me now, like
Well,
for other
just to
people?
to transmute or to transcend or to acknowledge and to get through that part of it, because it's a weird conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's probably part of, my dad is like the peak of the experience, but like leading up to the whole thing, there's all this experience in life that I think, I like to call them like initiations.
Yeah.
Not everybody goes through things that I've gone through. And I also have my privileges, sure. But those things make up the person that I am that's able to hold this job. So then go like, hey, check this out. I'm not going to judge you so much because I've seen some stuff. And so I think it makes me, do I want to use the word like safer or more approachable to this, to like work with people in this kind of space?
Well, you're also you also have, from my perception of you, you're consciously not putting you here and them there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a constant kind of breaking down of the walls that can easily get any of us who have a skill or a talent in a certain area. It's very, I mean, look at the world. It's very seductive.
Yeah.
For anyone to have a false sense of themselves.
Yeah. With the superpower that people want to like, some people throw that at me. They'll be like, oh, if you got these superpowers, then why don't you like save the world? And I'm like, I mean, whatever. We can get into like what that stuff is, but I don't view it as, it is literally that I just went to the gym and trained this part.
Right.
And if you want to, you also can do that. Like, I think people feel their initial like trigger reaction is that they feel left out because they perceive someone with this thing as I'm doing something special. And I'm like, it's literally not. It's special because I've chosen to spend my energy there.
Right.
But like, it is a part of you as it is the hair on your head if you're bald and the toes on your feet, whatever.
Right. How is it, like, I know that sometimes it's harder to hear the voices, especially when, not the voices, like we're schizophrenic, but just the voice.
I passed a psych eval twice, okay?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, in terms of sometimes when it's so close to home, it's hard to apply to self. And certainly when you can objectify or be objective on someone and go, oh, I can see that because you said that earlier. You don't have emotions around that.
Yeah.
So for you, applying this access to yourself, how has it been? What are some tools that you use, or how do you go about honoring that voice when it's mired in your own emotions and past? And
Good question. This is something that, if I break it down in the mediumship space, that one, I think, how do I want to put this? It's almost like lost its luster of my desire to chase it down for myself with my own connections. It doesn't, I don't get the like big hit whenever, if I feel my dad around. I don't know. That part's that, I think maybe it's like a thing of trust. I'm just kind of like, yeah, if dad's going to pull up, he's going to pull up. And he showed up in ways that he does on my way here. So when you said that, I was like, all right.
right.
On the more just like intuitive living stuff, it is an act of surrender. I think like what you're saying, like right now you're kind of going like, I don't know what's going on and I have to surrender. I also just have to do that. I can be like, I don't really have the answer right now. I know that that's not for me or this is not for me, but the clarity of the path is not there. I have to surrender. And I'm always just trying to constantly check back in with, is the energy I'm holding aligned with where I want to go? Because if that's the only thing I have control over, I just need to trust that and then allow for things to come in. When I'm trying to like steer the thing too hard is when everything goes to shit, which I think we know that, but like, it's a hard practice to just be like, okay.
It's hard, for sure.
And I have people that also, like, just because I do this work, I have people that I check in with as a sounding board to be like, hey, what are you catching on this thing? Because sometimes we need a little help just to
For sure.
clear the stuff. But yeah, applying my own, what I teach to myself, I feel like that's what a teacher is, right? We're teaching what we are learning along the way. So it'll always be like a lifelong thing to like readjust, redial, like calibrate. Always.
Yeah, I mean, the surrender is such a, when I say that, I'm like, and then I say that at the same time, I want what I want, right?
Yes.
So that other side of us. It's interesting. Just before you got here, I talked to Jeff Turner, who has a horrific upbringing. And he learned how to rap, beatbox in the moment. Like he literally pulled out I had no idea what was happening, pulled out a keyboard and just ripped.
Sick.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we talked about it, and it's kind of the same thing. Like he goes, I have to completely let go. Yeah. And if I jump in there and I mess up, even in the mess up, I have to let go again so that I can actually still.
Can you roll with the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's important. I love that you said that, because I'll be cruising along and I'm like, I'm so in my flow right now. I'm crushing it. And then I'll be like, shit. And I I intervene somehow, ego comes in, whatever it is. And then it's like, okay, what can I take from what I've just done, this mistake? Can I learn something from it? And then apply what I've just learned. If you can always just apply a lesson that you've from a mistake or something, it'll keep you in flow. It'll keep you in that space. Also, intuition is that flow state. That intuition is also creativity. So that's an easy access point for people to feel that.
Yeah, and it's I say that, and I'm like, I want to surrender, I do surrender, and I don't want to. Like you can, especially now. Like I'm going back to I feel like I've done a lot of stuff, but I have so much more I want to do in this world and contribute. And in order for me to do that, it's a whole nother thing.
It's almost like your back is telling you to slow down for a second, brother.
Oh, man. It's crushed me in that way, in a good way.
Yeah.
But it's also like, yeah, it's just medicine, man.
Yeah. If you can look at everything as that, like the bad, the good, what is this showing me? Cool, thank you, let it go. What is this showing me? Cool, thank you, let it go. And then just move through it in that way. I'm saying that while I also have an iron grip on some things, right, yeah. And also I think it's important to touch on this. A lot of people are so afraid to take the step towards certain things that are meant to be a part of their big life picture. So I imagine there might be things that are deep within you that sit in the back of your mind. Sometimes you're like, I wish I could do that, and it's why don't you do it? I have things like that I will own that I don't know that I will ever do in this lifetime, because my fear response is so big around it. And I teach this thing I'm telling everyone, I'm like, you better go jump off that cliff. And I'm like, I won't, but you guys go ahead.
What's one of your biggest dreams?
I was supposed to admit it on a.
You can or you don't have to.
No, I will. It's something I don't. Oh God, this makes me want to throw up. This is how you know. Now I'm in the hot seat. It's not, how do I want to frame this? I just need to not frame it and just say it. Music is such a big part of my world and love, but I just was never taught or stayed with it. And using my voice in that way, I was petrified. I could not do karaoke. I would be sick. And when my dad died, I got drunk enough and I went and sang Linkin Park. So we're breaking through. But I know, because that fear is so big, it's not about being a singer. It's about using my voice in a way that I'm so terrified of. And I'm finding every other way to do it. I took a yoga teacher training class because I was afraid to speak. So now I teach sculpt and bar so I can talk to people. I am doing a fucking podcast and I'm talking to people, but God forbid if you put a microphone in my hand and made me sing, I would shit my pants and die. But that's an indicator of something that I'm not touching. The fear is indicating that I should be going there and I'm not doing it. So
what if that was just do a little bit of it by yourself, with yourself?
Yeah, alone in my car.
Yeah,
I do that.
Do it? Yeah.
It's beyond the it's what I don't want to say. It's something about the being seen and received.
Yeah.
More than it is the musical part of it. Yeah. It's just that, to me, is where I'm that is where you are most vulnerable, in my mind, the most vulnerable spot. So that is with clients. When I see them not touching their thing and they're afraid, I'm like, go there. I won't, but you can go there.
Well, you can. You can go there very gently.
Yeah, I do sometimes. I told you about it.
Yeah, you told me. Now it's on air. It's recorded.
Now it's recorded.
It is etched in time.
My palms got sweaty for that one.
Yeah. No, but thank you for saying it, because I different though. I love music. I played piano when I was a kid, and then the teacher left my hometown, and then he just kind of left me, and I was like, fuck. And we tried another teacher, and it was horrible, and I just gave it up.
Yeah.
And my dad sang and played instruments, so I'm outing myself. I have a musical desire, and again, I don't need to be on a stage.
Are we starting a band?
We might be starting a band.
I think we're starting a band.
We're gonna be like this. Would we hum? Maybe
Yeah.
we start,
Shit.
we could. Honestly, we should have had Jeff Turner just bring his little piano, and
He
we
didn't
could
know that we were both chickens.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's something we share in that sense that I have actually even outed myself with some good friends of mine who are professionals, and I said I want to make a song one day.
I do it to my friends all the time, all my producer friends, and they're like, "Okay." I'm like, "Not today, though."
I know. All right, so are we gonna commit to something?
If I'm going to live the way that I teach, I should be.
Okay, so what's your commitment? I'll have one as well. What's a good first step?
Okay, I recorded a pop house cover of a Creed song with my friend Jordan, and I don't like the way it sounds because of just me. I also did mainline a bottle of tequila to do it, so maybe it would be better. Maybe I can commit to redoing that experience. Sober. Maybe not a Creed song, but maybe also let it rip.
Right.
Okay, I'll do that. So I just signed Jordan up to deal with me.
There you go. You pulled him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you committing to?
Oh, shit. I have a harmonium,
Oh, cool.
and I love playing it, but I never play it. I used to actually play it to my buddies after a workout.
Okay.
Yeah, and they loved it. But I have to up my game. So I think I want to pick up either probably a keyboard and just buy a keyboard and start practicing.
I bought one that lights up so you can teach yourself.
Oh, nice.
It's not good.
Dun, 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 dun,
I was like,
dun,
I will
dun,
shred.
dun. Yeah.
It's under my bed.
It's gonna take. Yeah, it's under my bed. I'm shredding. Okay, so hey, but that's part of it. It's the important thing of what we're talking about is I have a little thing that, I mean, I can watch someone singing and cry, and just go, oh my, and the power of that, and I watched my dad sing Elvis, and it's just.
Yeah, same.
Whatever the medicine is, again, I don't need to be on a stage.
No, but you're right. The medicine of the
Yes.
expression of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we in?
We're in.
We're gonna do it.
Oh,
We're gonna do
shit.
it. Okay.
But
all right.
I gotta hold the same level if I'm gonna tell my people go out there, jump off that cliff.
Yeah.
I also have to jump off a cliff.
But that also then, listen, we don't know how that's holding us back.
Oh, I
By
imagine
not
that if I
acknowledge.
open that thing up, I'm like I know that
Yeah.
the energy flows. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
again we don't need to go be pop stars. Maybe if you want to, but
Yeah.
just that thing sitting back here is a plug to the energy. It's like you gotta go snake the drain.
Right. I'm gonna go home and play my harmonium. I'm gonna do that today.
I'll slap on higher on the way home in the car and
Cool.
start
And
warming it up.
then we'll send those recordings to a producer, and then
Okay. My
What do-
friends are bothered enough by me. They're ready.
Nice. What do you think? When people, I guess, I was gonna say the people that come to you. What are the main things? But then I also have another question. If you ever tune in to the collective and get broader senses of instruction or waves of where things are going, or not just to do it, but for me, I do tune into stuff that I'm like, I need to put that in the world.
Yeah.
I need to create an avenue. It is a big, why I call this podcast SuperLife. I have many veins of creating a new world opportunity,
Yep.
right? So I do tune in to what I perceive, and like, I don't care who's the politician, or who, it doesn't matter, because I already know what I want to contribute to on a
Yep.
bigger level. So for you, do you tune in to the collective? And if you do, is that informing even a bigger picture for you?
Yeah, definitely. So it's also mirrored in one-on-one sessions, because I feel like usually whatever I'm tuning into, people are they're coming to me on that same thing.
Right.
Excuse me. So what's happening now, and like what I fully feel on like big picture, slowly, this like light bulb thing that's happening that I'm trying to be a part of helping. I think that language is so limiting, and I think we're moving into a place where language is not going to be as necessary. Is that going to be in like our lifetime right now? No, but like
Right.
the fuller picture of that is kind of that space where like we have to be able to communicate without all these like walls and like
Right.
things that are bracing us. So that on like a general level with human beings, I think is what's changing. Also, what's happening for everybody, is this this thing where they are looking at their lives. I kind of touched on this, and so many people are all going, "Oh my God, I have made all of these choices, and I hate my life." And so the work that I'm doing now, it is directly in line with that. And eventually, the goal is that to reach more people at a more accessible way, because like one-on-one time is great, but
Right.
that doesn't like get it going. But that is what's happening. Overall, I'm seeing people just realizing that the life they built for themselves was under the direction of whatever non-them choices. And so they're all freaking out, which the freak out's kind of good. When you have a freak out, that means you're ready to pivot. So that's being mirrored in my personal sessions, but also just overall is the sense that I'm getting. And as much division as we see online, I actually feel that we're starting to maybe come together a little bit.
100%. I think adding to that, I think the tribes are coming together.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like cool, crazy,
Yeah.
amazing stuff. And the people that are doing the same thing are doing the same thing.
Yep, and they'll keep doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, this just can't, but I don't really know why I feel like this should come up here, and I'll be careful when I say this. Collective tap-in, something that maybe, I wonder if you've gotten hits on this. I feel over the next year, I felt it was going to be this year, but it might move into next. We're going to be seeing a lot of things revealed around how energetically, like, fucking with kids destroys the energy overall.
Right.
I don't know if that's making any sense, but I think that's going to come online, and that will also like wake the people up a lot, because people that people have idolized are going to be not idolized anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
So that would be a collective thing, which if you need to cut that one out, you can.
Well, you're vague enough where
Yeah.
I can read between the lines.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll start to see that coming out. It's already under the surface percolating, and it will eventually make it to like the greater awareness.
Well, you hope that, people don't have to suffer, especially innocent children, in ways that are sometimes not even seen.
But it's massive.
But it's massive.
People
Yeah.
know that when you impact something badly, that is a large energetic impact. A large energetic impact reverberates out, and it like sticks with people. So if you
Right.
go for innocent young, those people grow up fucked up, or
Yeah.
they don't live at all. Whatever that is, you can siphon energy from that. I sound like a real kook. And they know that works that way. So that's my
Well, greater control.
Yeah.
On
Keep
top
people
of
down.
Yeah.
If people are messed up that way, you're traumatized, fucked up, it's really easy to like manage a lot of people.
Right.
So we'll see that come up
Yeah.
more.
And I think those of us who want to see it are seeing it, and it's on the one hand, it's like neon signs now.
Yeah, some
When-
people are still like, no, that would never happen. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll see later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't, if people are unwilling to see something, even though there's a sign over their head or right in front of them, that's where it's impossible to understand someone's journey too. And that's where I've humbly just go, I can't, I can't judge because I can't cosmically understand that soul's journey.
They have some position here that is made to be head in the sand that maybe we can't get a grasp on.
And almost
why.
necessary. There's certain people, and it's just that's their life.
That's their life. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we could talk forever about
This topic. We could go and go
and
go.
my God. But what would you say is the greatest kind of starting point for people to, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but I guess from what you're seeing, from your one-on-ones, is there a common thread-ish that you're seeing, like, oh, okay, this is up again, and we're gonna, apply X, Y, and Z, or I don't know if I'm asking the question right, but what are you seeing from your one-on-ones, and maybe that's permeated more than just the people you're seeing as well?
Sure. I guess the statement that I can make around this would be cultivating trust with yourself. Just because you've abandoned it before and you've maybe betrayed your own trust, you can still, as if trust is a separate being from you with yourself, you can reestablish that. It's really important to do that. And in that trust, here's this big old buzzword, you can become a more sovereign individual.
Right.
And that, I think, is what everyone wants. Even though that feels like maybe more responsibility on your shoulders, I would rather be sovereign in my thinking and mind and body and all this. And that stems from, like, do I trust myself to make decisions for myself? And right now people don't, and that's okay. We've been conditioned out of it, but you can start small things, start making choices that align with establishing that trust.
Right.
And that's the biggest overall.
Perfectly said. And I think the greatest medicine on every level, I think. More people get in touch with that, and again, they don't have to.
You don't have to.
They can do
you don't
whatever.
do anything.
Yeah, you can just exist and live your life and go after whatever your goals are.
If that feels good to you, then you're doing it.
Right.
Great.
Exactly.
If you're going, oh my God, what have I done? Well, then perhaps take a look at some of the stuff we're talking about.
I love it. All right.
Same.
Well, this is part one. I think we're gonna have some other cool conversations.
I think so too. It was good chatting. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And we got some music to play now. So congrats.
For the next episode, we have to play it. That's true.
Yeah, I'll cut this clip out and keep sending you this video clip. Hey, remember you said this?
Oh no. No, I'm gonna work it out.
Nice. We have a concert in 30 days. Just kidding. Really get you to throw up on camera.
I would. It's not my mic. It's someone else's business.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For your time.
Yeah, of course.
For your energy and all of the information.
Thank you. And maybe like a little shout out to our dads, because I feel like we got some like father stuff happening
There's some
in here.
serious father stuff. Yeah, and honestly, two people that I've learned from that. And I take that very to heart I believe, and I'm not living for my dad, but I'm living in an energy that he wanted and he wasn't giving himself permission to do, which killed him.
Yeah, I relate to that big.
Yeah.
It's not for him, but it is with the information of what it means to not live into like the fullness.
100%. So they're celebrating.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
Woo! We did it.
Hey-o.
Thank you.